Yo, greetings. What's good? What's popping, good people? My name is MC Neb, and this is the Relationship Garage. And you know how we do it. We usually have a physical event, but this time round, tumekuja virtual nini, podcast maneno, mics and all that. And I'm glad just to welcome you to our edition. We started with February Philo Experience, tukafanya church heart, where people poured out their hearts. And this time round, we are talking matters family. And just to bring all these things into perspective, I'm hosting the host of... none other than the man, the one, the only, Reverend Steve. Salimia watu.
Yours truly. Yes. Greetings. Wherever you are. Yeah, as Neb said, we are so glad that you've been with us all through the year. Until the end of the year. We're so happy. It's been an amazing time. Mm-hmm. So karibuni sana, wherever you are, wherever you're watching us, you're listening to us. We are so excited to close the year with you. Si kama ile funga high school. High school. Nafunga na wewe. Hapana, sifungi na wewe. We're just hoping you've been having an amazing relationships and probably Nebs, I think this is one of those ones maybe reflecting. Kama feel ilikusaidia utuambie kwa comment hapo. Kama ilikusaidia. Yeah, we'll be so glad.
Right, thank you very much, Rev. And here we just chilled, easy, nini, hatuna mambo mengi. And very quickly, there's this concept of family. We all belong in families, Pasi. And Kitambo, I used to like so we used to have a neighbor who used to have a family car. It was a Peugeot, I think.
Peugeot.
Yeah, a Peugeot. 504, I think.
Yeah, wepesi, unajua Peugeot, there are different sets. Kwa ile ilikuwa the small one, what was it called? Peugeot 504? Then there's the wepesi, was like a bit longer one.
Yeah, so that wepesi, it was a family car because it could fit the whole family.
Like the 7-seater.
Yes. And even as we talk about relationships this time round, we want to touch on family. And for us today, this is the Relationship Garage. Unajua? Pastor Leo, supervisor wangu. Leo, me represent, for the garage. And I want us to talk about relationships kwa concept ya gari. Especially family. And today, this is the family car. That's our theme for today. And before maybe we get into it, and Pasi here is here to just help us diagnose this car. Tuangalie engine kama iko sawa, grease. And we are getting into a season of family and, family, just guys meeting up. December. Actually, we are in December.
Yeah, it's that time of the year.
Yes. And kuna zile vitu tunasikianga. Na tunaogopa pia. Utaoa lini?
Ujapata mtu Nairobi.
Na pia wale wamepata mtu wanaulizwa watoto wanakuja lini.
Wanaambiwanga tutalea tuwe walete, tutawalea usijali.
And actually some of you your parent already has a name of their grandchild. Na bado hujapata.
Thomas.
So I want us to begin with the pressure most Kenyans know too well, and that is marriage.
Yeah.
And our conversation cuts across.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, the whole aspect of marriage, kids, and the ever-present family timeline. You need to do this. So mmeoana leo, mbona mna kagari, invest in this. So maybe why are marriage and childbearing such strong cultural markers of adulthood in Kenya?
I think it's a tradition. When you go to ATR, African Traditional History.
ATR.
Yeah, that's called ATR. When you go to ATR, you start realizing there are markers of life. So there was birth, which was childbearing. Okay? Then 2 was naming of a child. After you've been naming, yuzaliwa, naming, then circumcision.
Rites of passage.
Then there was, after circumcision, marriage. After marriage, death. Those are the five marks of an African man. ATR. And so, from tradition's perspective, or our places, we are marked by there are certain markers in life that suggest who we are. And that's why you find marriage is very important, because you're expected, once you've been named, umepewa jina, ukamaliza hapo hivyo, then after circumcision, then you expect to get married. It's better to have children. Nasikia mtu akishasakamzazio na now you are an adult. And that's probably in African history, people get married when they're way young. It wasn't about you're now 18 years old as enshrined in our constitution, but it was all about you've been circumcised, whether you're 14, 15, circumcised, you've become an adult, you stop living in your mother's house, you go get your house. And in some instances, once you're circumcised, you're about to have a baby. I'm not a baby. And you ukona Simba in African setup with something called Simba. So Simba is that small house that is built next to or adjacent to your parents' house. So that's where you do your stuff and you live there, because once you've been circumcised, you can't come and live with your parents. So expect you will have your wife there and you start your own life there. And so it was a very important, because marriage was the beginning of or a continuity of a generation. So you will be asked to get married, or you'll be pressured or be forced to get married, because that's what will guarantee that the Ongukos will continue.
The lineage.
I always say it's very interesting. Thank God I'm a man, but sometimes being a lady is very interesting. Wewe unataka kuendelesha genealogy
ya mtu
mwingine.
Now, Pastor, let me just jump in, and that leads me to the next question. So the other day we were having banter with some of my friends, and I know they'll watch. So they were saying it's a man's society. It's a man's society. And maybe you can just jump into it and tell us, how do these expectations now differ from men and women?
It's quite interesting. It's very quite interesting. I think you go back from the biblical, from the biblical, when it said God created man and Eve came after man, and what Bible defines him as a helper to this man. Though that's not really the reality of it all, because in terms of, there isn't really, biblical, there's nothing about equality per se, but equality in the sense of what Bible sees it is both of them having the same platform. And so it's always the man is the head. So the man being the head, man seems to be given, this pedestal is a bit higher compared to the woman. So the woman comes to support the man in this thing. And so sometimes you find the pressure, in fact, interesting, the pressure is not really on the man per se, because they say men are never single. They can marry at any time. I'll marry the time I want. There's a book, actually, a set book. There's a marry the time I want. But for a lady, it's called that way because you've seen a lady has a cycle. And so a cycle is, by the time unafika menopause, ufika 40, some 40, some 45, towards 50, umeingia menopause where you can't bear a child. No wonder Sarah, at his age in book of Genesis, anasema, I'm too old. Will my husband have a desire of me? Will I bear a child for him? Because I have grown old. Because for them, for her, she's like, I'm beyond childbearing season. But for a man, even at 70, they can still engage and have a child.
Ndio, by the way, unajua nimekuwa nikipata pressure mingi sana. I am a man. Watu wamekuwa kwanza recently.
Lakini my psychologist anaweza kukuambia, you see at that point your energies.
No, but by the way, you see, Pastor, acha nikushow. Unajua kama mimi, hata mimi unajua nimekula chumvi kidogo siku hizi. But hakuna pressure.
No,
especially for a man. Now I understand why they say it's a man's world.
Yeah, because man seem never to have a limit or rather time. You're timeless in a way. At any point you will have a child if you want. That's why unapata mtu ako 70 na bado ako na mtu mdogo at the age, he has gotten a wife who is at 30 or even 25 and they still have children.
So hii pressure ni mingi sana kwa our sisters.
The pressure to get married is much more for a lady than even to a man.
Okay.
Is much more for a lady. And that's why even now you see, a man will marry 10 wives so that he can have children. And women, one of the glory of a woman is to have a child. The beauty of a woman is always, I want to have a child. That's why sometimes some ladies will go to extra miles to get a child. Some men don't care about whether they have a child or not.
Yeah.
Man atakuwa na mtoi hapa, kuna mwingine pale, kuna mwingine pale, kuna yako tu sawa. Yeah.
All right, that's an interesting dynamic, and more grace to our sisters, by the way. More grace to our sisters.
No, it's just how God designed.
Yeah, but God could design your part of pressure.
No, not part of pressure. Yeah. That's God designed about a man and a woman, and they played 12 different roles.
Yeah.
Yes, they play different roles in complementing and all that.
All right. I think true. So, what are some of the modern realities that we face, Pastor?
The reality is makash, the dollar.
Parquet.
The reality of the demands of life have caused the average person to delay even getting married. There's the health reasons. People don't get married because of health reasons. There's the pressure for work. Like you feel where I am in my career. And unfortunately, sometimes you find, because my wife at some point was a victim in a way, where when you're pregnant, you don't get a promotion because you're pregnant. So someone is like, hey, my career penye imefika, hey, right now I'm married to the career. So I want to pursue that career, and you're like, I want to have kids or I don't get married. Because when I get married, and the reality is this, the moment you get married, especially for a woman, I keep saying this, it normally slows down your trajectory in life. And you find a man was, let's say, a diploma holder. This lady was a degree holder. The next, depending how long you want to have kids, the next 10 years of this lady, this man actually can come, surpass this woman, and become all he wanted to be. So you find in those 10 years, boy alianza job, he's doing this job, he does his degree in 2-3 years time, he finishes, gets masters. This lady, and I can tell you for a fact, during the childbearing season, for most ladies, like they settle. Like in terms of settling, they don't really... and the reality is this, they can't focus on so many things. You get pregnant. You have this pregnancy for 9 months. After 9 months, you have this child. The first 2 years, it's crazy. This child is fully dependent on this woman. The woman has to be there. So given until the child is around 3 years, 4 years, there 5 years, is when probably this woman is thinking, now I can this. It's gone. Ampata boli ya pili. Same way they were saying, we want to have 2 or 3 children. So 2 or 3 children, give and take, it take almost 10 to 12 years or 15 years, depending on how you want to space. Assume you're spacing 2 years. So umepata wa kwanza, ataweza kuhesabu hiyo 10 years. So umehesabu unaweza kuhesabu after 2 more years, you get pregnant again. So you find in a span of 10 years, this woman is in the childbearing season, where even career-wise, she's not really into. And as a man, in 10 years, umepata promotion. Sometimes you're not the senior management level. And then you're very fast. So some women will be like, hey, where I've come, where nimepemia fika na career yangu, hey, wacha tu nisioe. Wakati pursue career, I'll get married later.
So you're saying career demands, personal choice, and now choices, the finances.
The finances, I want to raise kids with the money, and also because of the background where you've come from. Probably you saw your parents really struggle to raise you up, and you're like, hey, man, I don't even have kids. Let me first get the cheddars first.
All right. And napenda tu venye na flow. Now, if there's one thing that fuels many family expectations, finances.
Finances, strictly.
And I want us to talk about money. Let's talk about the financial engine. And we have different things. Black tax. We have the concept of wills, inheritance, and unspoken responsibilities. And how do we support, let me just start from there. How do we support extended family without sinking our financial goals? Maybe for someone who's married. Acha tuanze na wenye wameoa. Tuanze na wenye maybe someone is married and now there's this extended family. And even you cannot, like you might be not married, but also you're supporting your own extended family. So how do we support extended family without sinking our financial goals?
It's a matter of striking a balance between you and your spouse and agreeing how will we support. Remember, the moment we come together with you, we are the priority, and our children are the priority. See, like you give everything and your family is starving. You become a priority. And then that which is the same way the concept of you have money, we'll use 20K, we'll pay rent, 20K will be our food for the month, 20K will be this. Also, you do that planning. And you realize, and you ask yourself, how much can we, after we have spent on our family, how can we support our extended family? You may not fully, and sometimes I think, where see Deputy Jesus, where you're dying for other people, you ask yourself, with what we have, how much can we support? If it's 5K is only what that's available to support your family, extended family, so be it. You don't have to say, because you have your children need to go to school. You will pay for them and do all that, yet you also are suffering. I'm saying, yes, you can help, but even Jesus, it's simply come the concept of God. You help with what we have purposed and what you can. God will not demand, because wewe lazima ulipe tithe, ulipe like 1,000 it is according to the bill that you have to pay.
Yeah.
And God honors the heart. So you can come to God and give to Bob, to God that you sacrificed. Same thing. Offer what you can. Don't think you have to do all that. So is you and agreeing with your spouse, what do we have? How best can we support? What is the limit of our support? Because you can't fully support, yet you have your own demands.
Aya, sasa black tax. Hai. Inafanya hata watu wataki kutafuta kazi. Watu wataki kukua responsible because now we have this challenge of black tax and it's happening in so many African
But black
families.
black tax thing goes to parents, right? It's mostly about parents.
Black tax, it's that
mostly
it's not communicated but
untold demand.
I'll give an example. So I have a friend so when she graduated, so she got this really nice job. Alikuwa anakaa nyumbani. And mama yake angefika anamwambia unasikia hiyo kitu ina beep. Tokens. Aya, anakuja anafungua fridge anauliza, hata ka protein hakuna kwa hiyo. You see,
pesa yako nitakula lini?
So what would you say, and maybe your take on matters black tax and how we can maneuver around it as young people, and probably also kuna wale ni wazee sana na pia wanalipa tax bado. It was a norm. I think for millennials now wengine kurudi nyuma, it was a norm. But now we have the Gen Zs who are like, you know what, catch me outside. I ain't paying no thing like black tax.
That's a very interesting one. Let me tell you, because it's a thin line between, your parents have really sacrificed for you. Now the question is this. No, listen. Don't laugh. I'm building my case. My case.
Yeah, they've really sacrificed.
But the question,
kwanza mtu aligrow kitambo. If you grew up so them days wako nakwambia unajua tulikuwa na magari mzuri.
Tulikuwa na magari mzuri. Unajua tulitembea barefooted for you to be at school.
Ndio mkuu shule anyway.
I think the concept is of appreciation.
Okay.
And this has to cut both ways. Not just my way only, but also my parents appreciate. I'll give you an example with my dad. Sometimes my dad will make that joke. Steve, pesa yako nitaikula lini? And remember, sometimes I keep telling my dad, in fact, we're so glad God has provided for you. We don't need to go in our pockets to feed you. Why? Because where we are in life, Dad, the truth is, we don't have enough that we can say, we do this and that. So we thank God, number one, has provided for you. You have what you need. You have so much that you don't need to come. We don't need to support you. And we are glad, we appreciate God for that. But it doesn't mean we can't appreciate you.
True.
We can, when I get something small, I can send you airtime and say, Dad, leo tunamwa nikubaye airtime. But it's not like now, budako amekaa chini, ameandika, niko na Neb 10k, Steve 10k, Kenik 10k. So amemake salo end of the month ako na salo yake. Ameka salo ako like, na yuri untaxed. All isha tax on his behalf. Jora tuma na M-Pesa. So ako na 40k every month do ya kuspend. Then they demand for it. No, it should be the demand. It's good for me, I'll say, as a parent. And my prayer, let me tell you. I say, God, please bless me. And with my hands, I want to work. God, please bless me that I will be the one to support my children to become who they are meant to be. And not to take it away from them. Not saying that they need to pay me, but I'm just saying, let it be out of volition that they are saying, I want to be a blessing to my dad, my mom. But let it be for me, I want them to be who they are meant to be and not take it away from them. Because sometimes, let me tell you, parents who are listening to me and watching me, sometimes your children are struggling. They have to steal money. Corruption. Wafanye ndio make more money to take care of them, also take care of you. But you see, when you allow them to grow, actually I've come to realize, have you never noticed in your life, something that comes freely is sweeter and better than something that is cost
True.
to be given to you.
Yeah.
But we are saying also to the young people or the children, it is good just to learn the art of giving. After the Bible says, blessed is the hand that gives than the hand that receives.
Yeah.
And personally, I've learned this with my friends. When I've given, and sometimes I've given in different forms, manzi unapatanga blessings ujuzi matoka wapi. And there's a blessing of a parent just in honor, the same way dowry. Maybe the same thing is dowry, a black tax. Because tumesomesha huyu msichana mpaka university.
Kwanza kuna wale mbako wanakutolea ka pamphlet aka katoto kalienda Montessori kakatoka Montessori kakaenda tukalikapeleka na unaona vile hata kakaenda University of Nairobi na unatolewa hizo brochure bana.
But you can't value a girl. The same thing, do you know you can't value how much your parents have put into your life?
True.
The least you can do is it's the same way we serve in ministry. When you serve God, there's no one can pay you enough for appreciation for your serving God. It is dignity and just honor that this I want to honor you for what you did. That is enough. It is not more about what you receive.
Thank you. And by the way, it's important for us. There's a time I had traveled. So unajua venye umetravel tu umeenda. So my dad is very active on Facebook. So I had posted. I was, I think, in Arusha. So kangoja nikarudi akanipigia akaniambia niende nimsalimie. So when I went home, you know what he told me? Pia unaambia mzee unasafiri soda ya mzee si mbaya. You know, because ako like yani mtu ameenda hata hajaniambia. You know, for him is just like, you know, soda si naweza kuwekea kasoda mahali.
And mimi nikarudi. And also, you know, when you were young, do you know this concept of dad utaniletea nini ukirudi? Ama mtu kuja nyuma dad umeniletea nini? It's just the same concept. We expect our parents to do something for us. It's just something that learning to appreciate. I think when you learn to appreciate, but also it's a two-way thing. On the other hand, it should not be a push to this. Because let me tell you, right now, there are so many people who are really struggling to find finances. Yeah. We should not put so much pressure on them.
All right. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing. And by the way, it's very important also for us as young people to take care of our parents. And if you're there and you're a parent also, it's important for you to invest in the emotional bank of your kids. There was a feature story I watched on one of the local media houses. It was about nyumba za wazee. And the people who were there were bitter, really bitter. And one of them, you know, was regretting, saying he thinks he pushed his children too much, that now they ended up taking him. They'd rather pay for nyumba ya wazee than send him money. Yeah. So also for us, those of us who are blessed and future parents, take care of your children. I can imagine how boring it is in a nyumba ya wazee.
And I know there's a book called Men Are Dispensable. Or indispensable. Which one is which one? When men grow up, they feel they're indispensable. But because in your life you feel your art of providing is you being there. Then you reach an age you realize it wasn't about, your children were not just talking about your provision. They wanted you to be there. Yeah. So as you grow old. So if you are there, yes, Uluasomesha, I took them to all the best universities, did all this to them, but you lost them. You lost them in the process of thinking you're providing for them. So when you grow old, energies are going low, you are not available, they have no connection with you. They have no connection with you. And and that's why they'll pay for you to go kwa nyumba ya wazee. And they say, go spend your life there.
Yeah.
All
right. Thank you. Now, today we said you're talking about everything and anything matters family. Now, there's this concept of inheritance, wills, which is a taboo topic, especially in Kenyan households.
Ukiongea will najua unataka nikufe.
So what's the impact of this silence when it comes to this thing? Because we've seen families when maybe the parent has, transitioned into glory.
I can see. Hey, you've looked for a very nice word, transition into glory.
That's when we see a lot of chaos in families. People who are living amicably, boom. Kale kashamba ninakataka. Hiyo ni yangu. We've heard about a story, one of the big supermarket chains, the thing that happened as well. Family
because of that. It is quite a number.
What do you think is the impact of this silence? Matters inheritance, wills, and by the way, from a believer's perspective, kwa sababu kifo, like hata Biblia hiyo verse inasemangaje, and like death is inevitable.
We'll all die. One day we'll all die.
So
the thing is this. I think Africans, and this is an African issue, we don't talk about death. It's the same way we don't talk about the dead. When the dead is dead, hata kama alikuwa mchawi,
ni mzuri.
Alikuwa mzuri. We talk nice about the dead. And I think it's the same thing. We don't talk about death because we think when we talk about death, then death will come. I think that's not the reality. Because we have lost so much in the name of leaving our children fighting because of the will that they left. You never left a will. You never said, ama, wanasema, kabla akufe, his last statement, ilikuwa ni hii na hii. And it wasn't that statement.
Yeah.
And especially where you have so many, and actually I say, it doesn't matter whether you never wrote a will, whether you had 10 children or you have 2 children, it can be chaotic. it can be chaotic. I think writing a will is a good thing. It saves a lot. There I was saying there's so much is taken to the asset unclaimed assets recovery authority. There's so much, and I was shocked. Imagine when your money goes to that authority, Gava can borrow that money and use your money. Imagine you're there languishing in poverty. Your children will be in poverty. Government is borrowing, and I was being told, I was talking about the M-Pesa. If you had money in M-Pesa and is unclaimed, no PIN, no password, after a year, it is taken there. When it sits there, it is their time to reconnect with the owner of the money. When it's there for 3 years, no one has claimed, the money is completely taken by the government. And the government uses that money.
Mnasikia tafadhali M-Pesa pin mnaweza nisaidia nikuwe nayo. Me by the personally I'll be honest with you pastor. Mimi nakwanga people who are close to me wanajua pin yangu. Juu sasa hizi vitu kama hizi vitu za dunia umenyuria. Oh sorry, to nyuria is to die. Umeenda like watu wanalia kwa matanga bana, si wanalia tu juu wanaona iPhone.
iPhone man, hawana password. I think, in my opinion, whether spiritually, from a spiritual perspective, or from a worldly, if you want to call it that way, it is good to write a will. It's good to say, even if it's a wish. It's good to say. Not saying, of course, some people say, mtu wangu kijua nimempea hii pesa, atakuwa atasoma, atafanya hivi, or some say, if they know they will kill me. Yes, has it ever happened? I think it has happened scenarios where somebody has known ukona hii, what is it called? Like I know, like in the Europe, mostly they talk about this insurance.
Trust fund. People know. And people have been killed, because I've watched even documentaries. People have been killed because somebody knew. It is true. But the reality is this: you will save much more than now. But also it depends this: how have you raised your children? Raising them with responsibility, raising them to know that they have a responsibility, so that they don't just look at what you leave for them, but teaching them that is, even if I give it, because how many people have been given wealth, give them 2 years, I wanna do. True. Everything is gone. But it's good just to say what you have and for so that you avoid too much speculations. Yeah. And infightings. And if you have seen places whereby ukona will, your brothers come and take, and they forget about it, you had a wife, you had a children. Yeah, and for us as believers, writing a will doesn't mean you're calling death. Tafadhali. You've raised money, you've raised property with your wife. Your wife dies. You should have a will even when she's still alive, by the way. So that your children that you had with your wife, they benefit. Because sometimes we men, kona shida. I've come to see scenarios whereby men whose spouses have died before them, they end up remarrying. My friend, the property they had, it disappears. Because you get this person, amekuja mwona akamuzeka amefika 60 ama akamuzeka kwa 50. We anaishi bonus. That's why the girl is 30 and you have children who are whatever. And then because also these kids automatically see mama amekujia pesa zetu. So I always say, before you marry, I say, I know some people I think this is a young man, what is he saying? But from what I've observed, because when wanasemanga wise man is who learn from others. I think if you lose one of the spouse, it's important to sit on your children, have what you put together with your spouse, put it together, right? Even if you don't give them now, let it be known, this belongs. Then as you move on into a next phase of life, even whoever is coming should be very clear. This is for this is for this. All right. Thank you very much, Rev. And I'm glad that, we said we are talking about this engine. Unajua from tunaanza kwa bonnet, tunafungua, tunaangalia. Tumefika kwa shock absorbers. Sasa tunaenda kwa chassis bana. Alafu tuende road test. Now, when it comes to this season, mostly December, we have a lot of family gatherings. The most wonderful time of the year. Yeah. And this is the ultimate test of, family values and our foundations as families. So, and most of the times we have gatherings which intensify unresolved tensions because maybe there is an inheritance problem, maybe someone married from another community, ama there are expectations in these families. So how do we then navigate tensions in our families? Because all of us belong in families. We are tied to a family. And sometimes it's inevitable to have this conflict. So how do we navigate more so when we are together? When you come together, that's when you know some things. Kuna ule cousin anajulikananga, huyu ni ule cousin ule mwenye
kuna attitude.
Kuna huyu mwingine anajulikananga akifika family gathering lazima apitie mahali. You know, so how do we navigate this?
I think it is a complicated, is not a one directional answer to that question. But I think solving any relationships, it takes first maturity. It takes understanding, knowing where people are coming from. Because even just in your own family, when you guys gather as brothers, we're all different.
Yeah.
We all live in different towns. We all come with our exposure when we come together. I think it's a matter of accommodating and understanding one another and knowing the things you can tolerate, the things you can't tolerate. Sometimes even taking a step backwards and stay away from some things, it's okay. Because if I know in these gatherings, because of pressure, never drink. But because of that pressure, because everyone is drinking, unakunywa. No. First, you need to know yourself. First, the second thing you need to know, people are different and they all come. Yes, we are from the same father. Yeah. But we all, because of the exposure we have gone through in life, we all come with all different things. But the thing is, you need to define with yourself, what do I accommodate? What can I tolerate? What can I not tolerate? So when it comes your way, you have a buffer. You have a sieve. Inter-accommodate, is-to-accommodate. Kama ni mse wenye weze accommodate wase wamelewa, it is clear, you tell guys, when it comes to drink, guys, me are not part of it, and you keep off.
Na pia kama wewe unalewanga na accommodate watu wako soba.
Wewe unalewa accommodate wako soba. You know, we are all different. And I think to have a healthy relationship is understanding people and accommodating. But it doesn't mean you need to lower your standard. Your standard must maintain. If this for you is a no, so it should remain to be a no. If there's a conversation you can't engage in, you can't engage in. If there are activities you can't engage, you can't engage. There are things you can't. There are some we say, no, they're there. You can do. But you must maintain a standard. You must maintain your integrity. You must maintain your level that you are not influenced to do anything when you go for those gatherings. But you are part of the people. Because we come from somewhere.
Yeah.
We belong to families. And your families has all manner of people.
Yeah. All right. You've touched on something and let me digress kidogo. You know, in Kenya, we have this challenge, and actually 2027 is approaching, negative ethnicity and tribalism. And when it comes to intercultural or cross-cultural marriages, we have an issue. Maybe, because I know our audience cuts across. If there's a young person who's watching and maybe ameambiwa nyumbani, huyo ni wapi, you know, and baby, I know some of us we know our parents. Some of our parents have crazy stereotypes and prejudices.
It's true.
So how do we navigate such a space as young people, whereby maybe nimependa msichana wa kutoka pande fulani, lakini ninajua mahali nimetoka hawataki tu, wanasema so how do we then navigate such?
Wow, not easy. Let me say it's not easy.
Wewe si ujawa mali umetoka,
mimi nimefanya githeri.
At least you know, at least you're a testimony. So
I think it also depends on your parents and acceptability of that person. Like for me, I know initially it was ish, but eventually wali accept any choice ya say this is his choice. So why there's nothing we can do about that choice. It's the same thing. I think when we go, number one, it's for you to understand where you're going. Like your family. Letting this other person be very clear about the person, your family. And if you know for sure your family is a place where they will not accommodate this person, you start pole. You don't go stay there for 2 months or 1 month. You start introducing this person there pole as they start saying, because sometimes I'm talking because of the stereotypes. Awana. But the moment they start seeing this name every day, they're like, name is not like all those other people who wana. He's different, he's unique, because kila town iko na mwendazimu wake. And so I can tell for a fact, the person that you take at home in December may not be fully accepted. But this is your person this is the person you have chosen, because all of us are children of God, devoid of ethnicity where you come from. We are all children of God. And if you believe that this is a person God is giving you, this person you have in your life, then you also need to stand up for them. I said, this is my choice. Whether you hate me, if you hate me, also hate her. If you like me, you also like him. But this person is you protect them. because it's your, actually kwambie maji ni mzito, damu ni nzito damu ni nzito kuliko maji. And let me tell you, it's you to protect your spouse, it's you to protect your girlfriend, boyfriend when you're going at home, and to keep shield of them, because you're the one who knows the family deep. You know, you're the one who knows the family deep. Shielding them, protecting them from your enemy. You sort your... When you are internally as brothers or sisters, mnaweza ongea. But when you come out, you tell guys, now you're coming, no, my wife is here. We cannot speak this about these people. Yeah?
Thank you.
And it's not easy, let me tell you. It's not easy, but it's possible.
Si rahisi. Mi hata mi unajua, hapo kwanza, kuna time nilikuwa, pia mi nilikuwa conditioned. Kuna comment ilikuwa inamekiwa mahali, but Mungu ni nani? Alikuwa ananilidi tu uko mahali. Unajua? So, yeah, but yeah. Thank you. Now, again, as we come towards the tail end of our discussion, how do we handle pressure generally? Especially now, those of us who are trusting God for people, for spouses, and maybe someone is out there thinking, time imeenda, manzi, I don't have time. Someone else is maybe ashavuka kwa side ingine, anashindwa, sasa, how do I start? How do I make it work? You know, some people are dating, but they're confused, you know, and some have this like pressure to any left, right, and center. So how do we handle pressure as young people before we transition into marriage? And
I think generally, first, life will always have pressure. Pressure for anything and everything. There's pressure you have gotten late. There's pressure you need to be somewhere. There's pressure you need, as in equal pressure. There's pressure you want to be this, you want to be that. And I think maybe you should be the best person to explain as being a psychologist. But pressure, first, kujijua. Pressure comes. How can I explain it? This mic imejengwa, but pressure is not in the mic. Pressure comes from outside the mic, coming, and so this shield, hii nini yake, body yake, it protects it from the external. And there are two kinds of pressures. There's the internal pressure and external pressure. Yeah. The internal pressure, for example, this mic, it has been built in a way it can withstand internal. And this protects the external. As a person, whenever you're faced with pressure, number one, you need to figure out, is it internal pressure or external pressure? If it's internal pressure, it's in your control. If it's external pressure, chances are it may not be in your control. Yeah. How do you want to control what you can't control? So externally, you find way out of that pressure. If the wind is blowing this way, go in this direction, you can't again stand there until you want to stop the wind. You can't stop it. You move aside for it. There's some pressure you just need to step out and let it go. Internal pressure, you start realizing, I don't know, whatever pressure it is internally. You realize some things, I can't control them. You realize, this one, it will go the way it goes. And sometimes I've come to appreciate, there are things in life you need just to let them to go. Sometimes in life, you need to let the ship capsize. Wow. You need to sometimes you just need to see the ship going down. Trying to save it, you lose more than it going down. You let it just completely sink. And when you start realizing that, you start having some sense of peace. So having some sense of peace that I can't control everything in this life. Sometimes I accept things they were. But also pressure is a positive thing. Because sometimes pressure causes you not to settle. And to think about the things, who you're supposed to be, who you're supposed to come. And so you keep asking yourself, is this in line with what I need to be? How much of pressure can I handle this? And sometimes you let it down. Work pressure. Unapiga pressure pale, my friend. When you die, they'll employ somebody else. In fact, we always make fun, for example, in church. When you have pressure, you die. The new pastor is the one who will bury you. Watakuwa wameshapata replacement yako, anakuja anakuzika. Na ulikuwa na pressure, unakufia God. Hiyo ni kanisa ya God. So why are you dying with pressure? You know, so it's some things you realize it's not about pressure. You reduce those because they develop when you allow too much pressure. Develop into psychological problems. They develop into ugonjwa,
depression, psychosomatics, unakuwa na sukari.
Yeah, like right now everything, outside here the dollar is going high, things are hard, things are patikani. Sometimes some things are beyond you. There's some forces around you that you shouldn't really die for them. But it's good to see, I can do something about it. Do, and whatever you do, appreciate, be happy about the little gains that you've made. As long as you're moving towards somewhere, be happy.
All right. Maybe I can just get to hear from you. I know you come from a family and you have a family of your own. So give me 2 things that you really like about the family of origin and like now your family, the one you created.
Wow, interesting. That was my friend. Things about my family, where I came from. What is that I'm saying? Like, one thing my dad has really tried is unity. Has been together. Then we have this culture, lazima tu December, lazima tukue pamoja. Hata kama in Nairobi, it is that thing of Christmas Day and New Year coming together. But of late you've been trying to fight that. Dad, even me out of my family. I want us to go for holiday with my family for Christmas. I love that of being together. I feel, of course, I like the fact we are all boys. Okay. We are all boys in that family. So sometimes conversations, we talk about from A to Z, anything and everything. We talk about it. I think I love that thing about my family, with Dad wanting us to be together, which is a great thing. My family, where I am at, I love the fact that you have opportunity to create my own family and what I want. Being close to my children. Mi budangu kwa inambia I love you, bro. At least my son, I tell him I love him. I want to show I am, yes, your father. Yes, I know some people argue this differently. They say your child is not your friend. You are the father. It is true. Yeah. But I want to cultivate a relationship. Let me say a relationship whereby I'm open with my children. That they can come to me anytime when they're going through. And by the way, the reason why some people are going through too much pressure, because they can't go and share with their folks, with their parents what they're going through. Yeah. Because the culture they had, you don't speak. But I'm loving about my family because I have opportunity to cultivate that. I'm seeing it and I'm loving it. My children, that we are together. So far we are doing so well. We are together and just cruising. We're on this life, cruising, putting it together. And I'm liking it with my wife, being there. I think the opportunity of open check or writing your own story is the amazing journey that I'm liking about it. And some things I'm saying, I want this thing to be zianze na mimi. Like this, it will flow into my children, some things which I said, this must stop, this must start. So I'm the one, like, I'm in that place to start some new culture from my family.
Good stuff, yes, and I am a witness. Jamaa anakuanga amechangamka. Mtoto wake anabebanga hapo mbele kwa gari, akipelekwa shule. Kama unapewa lift, utakaa nyuma.
Unajua unasema watu wa pastor. By the way, me have little pastor's kid. And sometimes you find that the pastors, what they used to do, pastors walikuanga wageni wamekuja, tokeni kwa kitanda mlale chini. Sasa
kwani utakwambia tu story yangu?
Ni pole bro.
Sisi kama pastor's kids, I'm very happy how this pastor is raising, Okay, si ati tuliteseka sana, but it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, because a human being, actually, you need to Pastor Grace Bukachi. One thing I remember one day you say, you need to raise your children as normal children. As a pastor, these are not too many pastors.
Yeah, true.
They are normal children. They have the same demands. You may understand because you're a pastor. Sometimes you take the humble pie of it. But these kids don't care about that. They want the real you as a man. So I reached a point and I said, I must raise my children like any other children who have demands. Today, my son actually has told me, Daddy, come home with pizza. Pizza. They don't care you can pastor or see pastor.
Yeah.
So I realized, and maybe also part of it, do you know, actually, one of my ex, part of the reason why we parted is because the father was a pastor and there was like, my dad used to give a lot and we used to miss. And I think, and I understand where she came from. It's like, Steve, me, I love you, but I can't marry a pastor.
It is well. Please, you can marry me. Like, guys.
On auction. Are you on auction?
No. Anyway, now there's an interesting conversation as now we come to the, unajua sasa tukipaki gari. Matters altars.
Yeah.
Promises, vows. Pole producer nimegonga mic. These things that some of us we suffer the consequences of
until the fourth generation.
Yes. So I don't know, some of us maybe we are not thriving in relationships because of that.
Kwetu watu wanaonga tu
Kwetu
wakiachwa,
watu wanachangwa,
watu wana divorce,
ikifika tu karibu kuolewa nini. So and najua podcast watu hawaombangi, lakini leo tutaomba kwa yetu. Maybe you can just speak into that, like how can we break these patterns that some of us maybe are tied to unknowingly?
So it begins here. First, you need to acknowledge and accept that there's a two worlds. There's a spiritual world and there's a physical world. Mm-hmm. And accept that spiritual principality operates. We have spirits, spirit are God, and you have the devil with spirit. That's why the book of Ephesians talks about, for our war is not against flesh and blood, but against the powers and the principalities of this world. So the reality is there's spirituality. The other thing you need to accept, spiritual ties are real. They are there. There are some things you find, your grandfather alikuwa mlevi kushinda wewe, Yesu ni Bwana. That's the story that came to my mind. You find that you alikuwa mlevi, and some things you find yourself naturally doing without thinking, why am I doing what I'm doing?
The predisposition.
Yeah, your predispositions that you have a family. Even in marriage. Like your grandparents were divorced, your father was divorced, akawa bi mwingine. Pia wewe subconsciously, it is there coming. But you have an opportunity to break curse and break loose. And how do you break loose? Jesus became a curse on the cross. When you follow the story of Jesus and even him being crucified on the cross, it was a curse. He became a curse so that we are no longer under curse. The only way to deal with spiritual curses is only dealt spiritually. And Jesus is the only one who can break that curse or bondage in your life and deliver you from bondage, whatever kind of bondage. Some people is financial bondage. As in mko na domo mnaziwasaidiangi.
Rudia hiyo part.
Wasoko na domo naziwasaidi, doi kwa bank, doi imekaa tu hapo, haisaidi, no one touch the money. The people who are blessed, they have so much shamba, lakini hatuwezi lima. They're in abject poverty. That you need deliverance. And deliverance only comes in Jesus Christ, because the enemy, what he has done, he has oppressed you. Amekuja, amewakalia muoni. And you always, now you start thinking, sisi even ndio tunakuanga. No, you can't be like that. That's not what God desired for you. You need to come out of it. And the only way is by allowing Jesus to come. And how do we allow Jesus? By first you as an individual accepting Jesus in your life. Because when you're accepting the old as God, the new has come. True. And now you have the power to break that yoke, to break that spirit. That spirit that is in your family. Only Jesus can break it. Unaweza ombewa mara 20, lakini kama huja accept God. But remember also, even that who is born again, now the enemy does not come to dwell in you. What the enemy does is oppresses you. So because whoever is not born again, the enemy is in them. So you operate, kill yourself, chaindoa. But now when you're born again, the enemy, because he can't approach you, he oppresses you. And he oppresses you to the point where you leave the place of grace and you walk. Psalm chapter 1 talks about, blessed is the man who does not, blessed is the man who does not walk in the way of Jesus Christ. Why is the scripture going? But he talks about, blessed is the man who does not walk, nor stand, nor sit the seat of mockers, works in the ways of sinners, nor sit in the seat of mockers. Do you know what? For me, my revelation of that scripture, blessed is the man, you're blessed. He said, it's not the man who walks, nor stand, nor sit. It means it is us who walk away
from.
So as a believer, he said, if you're blessed, you should not walk in the way of sinners, nor sit in the seat of mockers. It's you who is born again who should remain the place of grace. So as a born again believer, the enemy stands here. What does the enemy do? He entices you. You walk from the place of grace. You come towards him. You need to learn the ways of the enemy. Stop walking the ways of the enemy.
And break free.
Break free.
So it's possible even for families to be fixed.
It's possible.
So they say thriving family is a thriving nation.
Yeah.
And as we come to the end of this, before we wrap up, maybe what's one essential tool you'd leave our viewer, our listener with as they navigate matters family, more so expectations, and even just family generally?
Relationships are key, very key. And I believe you can cultivate healthy relationships in your family. Some will take time, some will have to be patient about them, but it is possible to cultivate relationships because relationships are key to your thriving. Whether it's with your parents, siblings, your wife, and community, seek to have relationship with people around you. Because it's only when you're in a community of believers and community of people where you have relationships with and connections with, then you thrive. Because God has put people in your life to be of blessing to you. You must connect with them.
All right. So family is the car we all ride in, and it's up to you to choose the weight you want to carry, the route you want to pass. Basically, it's about balance. What can you take? What can't you take? Thank you very much for, your insights, Rev.
Thank you.
Mpatie ni virtual claps hapo nini.
Receive.
Yeah. And I'm grateful that at least even me, unajua napenda kulearn. Day in, day out we learn. So if today's conversation also has ministered to you in a way, feel free to share with someone else. You can share the link. You can record a part that makes sense. You can post it on your status to speak life to someone else. Relationship Garage across all social media platforms. My name is MC Neb, and I was with the one and the only. And we are finishing with a word of prayer. So Pasi, right about now, tuombe.
Father, we thank you and we bless you. Thank you for your goodness and your mercies in our lives. Thank you, Jehovah God, for all our viewers and our listeners, oh God. Jehovah God, who are trying to navigate various spaces of relationships in their families, in their place of work, my Father, and their spouses. Father, I pray for wisdom, understanding, and knowledge to be theirs, Lord. I pray, Jehovah God, that you'll enable them, my Father, to thrive in various relationships. We thank you and we bless you and we commit this to you. Lord, we pray indeed it shall be of impact to many people out here. All this for the glory and honor of your name. So receive all the glory and all the honor. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. So a big shout out to our crew. Just want to, we have Powell behind that camera pale. Yes, we also have Kenik, the one and only. He's doubling up. He's doing sound. He's doing, he's our DOP as well.
He's become all things.
Much appreciated. And also a big shout out, yes, to Mr. Ayodi, for allowing us to, use the Park Studios. We are coming live from Park Studios. Great things. So thank you very much. Yes, above all, just grateful to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords for giving us insights, wisdom. We don't do this because we know it all. We just do this because we are used of God. Come okay? Patane next year editions live like live editions.
Yes,
but mtu anaweza kuwa na watch futuristic anyway. So next year ni 2026. It's kama una watch 2027, yani hiyo ni last year. God bless you guys. We are out.
God bless you.
Wanasalimiananga lakini wanajifanya ati wow.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It was nice.